All right, let's try again. Testing 1, 2, 3.
For America's 250th anniversary. Last night, this photo snapped exactly at midnight as the lightning strikes the Washington Monument. I repeat, lightning striking feet from where President Trump is as the largest firework show in human history pops off. Sign of a mandate from heaven. God added his own primordial fireworks to the celebration of the sesquicentennial. Glory to the United States of America, 1,000 years of greatness ahead. Look at this. You can see in this video captured the lightning strikes with the 4th of July fireworks. The reason why I'm starting with this is because the demonstration of illuminations, as John Adams would put it, for the 4th of July was delayed by approximately 2 hours because of severe lightning storms in the area that could have brought hail and lightning. And you can see right here, ladies and gentlemen, just how close that lightning actually is to the crowd itself. Boom. Yikes. Whoa. I mean, holy smokes. Look at this. They're swinging Sweet Caroline. Come on. Okay. So there's good reason to delay the event, right? I mean, I hated to see that. The reality is we were out with our kids and we'd spent all day at the pool with our kids and I was asleep by midnight. That is a matter of fact. I got a million little children and they wear me out. And so this, though, was the epic demonstration popping off exactly at midnight as a B-1 Lancer hit the afterburners on the National Mall. Watch this. So this is the beginning of the fireworks show and a B-1 bomber. Come on. Oh, cool. What a great country. What an amazing country. Pops off, and here we go. Nearly 1 million munitions. Last year it was 20,000. Trump promised to make it happen, and he made it happen. The largest fireworks show in the history of the world. Right here. I mean, come on, man. Look at that. This is I mean, unlike anything. I mean, it looks like DC is being carpet bombed. That's what it looks like. It looks like some type of war zone in like a great way, in like our glorious revolution way. Incredible. The firework commentary and footage is something else. Let's pop on over to that. But President Trump obviously saying here on Truth Social, storms bring luck to whatever the occasion. They also make events a little more exciting. We'll wait it out. I don't care if it's 2 a.m. We're going to make this happen. But he plans on being there, and he talks about the UFC event, saying that the UFC event was supposed to be canceled, and the clouds actually parted literally in order for the UFC event to go off without a hitch. I'm here, says DJT, and here's him posting it. Very rare that we get to see Donald Trump actually posting the Truth Social, and here it is. I'm here. There you go. President Trump gave a speech, and then, ladies and gentlemen, it was time to go. Here's Donald Trump. ready to rock. What a display. And ladies and gentlemen, the display is unlike anything anyone's ever seen because it's the first time in human history that so many fireworks have gone off at the same.
Half my berries went fuzzy by Wednesday every week, and I just thought that was how berries worked. My friend who works in food safety testing had a different explanation for why it kept happening. Last month, she watched me rinse strawberries under the
time. Look at that. Biggest fireworks show in history has officially begun. Largest fireworks show in history for America's birthday. What a shot right here by Margot. Whoa. Normally I hate firework videos because they all look the same. They're all stupid. But this is amazing. Amazing. Ladies and gentlemen. Party in the USA, best fireworks show in history. Boom. I mean, it's like hard to even process. It's hard for my brain to process the number of fireworks that are going off. Again, it looks like wartime. It looks like some type of shock and awe land invasion. That's what it looks like. It looks like we're invading Baghdad, is what this looks like. Incredible. Incredible. Easily the most epic opening of a fireworks show I've ever seen, and it's not even close. Amazing. How do they even do this? Largest Independence Day fireworks in history builds to a breathtaking finale as the fans erupt. That's literally blinding. Again, it looks like an invasion. It looks like military act. It looks like carpet bombing in DC. It's blinding. It's hard to watch it's hard to even watch it just on the computer screen here. Look at that. Look at that. And the fact that they originate from so many different spots and so many different locations. Incredible. 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 Largest fireworks show in history. 850,000 munitions. Whew. That is so cool. Look at that. The fact that they're using the monuments as the backdrop. This isn't like, they're not like shooting these things off from Alexandria, right? Or Crystal City. They're right from the heart of the monuments. Definitely set a record for the most blinding firework finale. Okay. I don't know who these dudes are, but they got a good view. These are the guys on top of the roof of the White House. Great. Most insane fireworks I've ever seen.
Look here. This isn't just an ordinary denture, but the globally popular Flexible Smart Custom Denture Kit. It's incredibly easy to use. Just soak it in hot water for 1 minute.
3 minutes. Billy Dean will be next.
This one's awesome. World War II veterans featured in the president's speech watching the fireworks at their memorial. Isn't that neat? So World War II vets in their wheelchairs watching the fireworks. The World War II memorial. Amazing photo. This is insane. Game over for the left. They have no response to this. You can use my tax dollars to do this. That's right. Less gay Sesame Street in Iraq. This goes hard. If they try and say there's no crowds, it's because nobody could get in. Unfortunately, because there was severe weather, they had to evacuate everyone, and then they tried to bring them back in, but there's just too many people. Look at this. I mean, there's millions. There's millions of people. There just isn't there isn't the security capacity for all of this. Man, every angle of this fireworks show is legendary. Washington Monument struck by lightning during the fireworks. Look at that. Whew. A mandate from heaven, ladies and gentlemen. So, there's another one with the lightning strikes. Just one more time. It's freaking cool. Ooh, there you go. Whoa. Yeah. So, I mean, the lightning storms were for real, right? Yeah. Let's do President Trump and one of those World War II veterans.
Forward March of Freedom is another Medal of Honor recipient, Colonel Paris Davis, whose courage won eternal glory in Vietnam. He helped lead a surprise attack on 100 enemy combatants. They said he was finished.
Vietnam.
I had two open. It was just about over, you guys. It was just about over. My settings are all messed up today. Stupid weather outside. We're going to get Billy Dean in now. Before, if I get any more weather issues, we better get the top videos in. Well, that one with Benny was one with the lightning stuff strike. So Billy is 22, and then we're going to play Nick Shirley, 36. That will be the biggest one for today. And I got some other ones I wanted to get into.
Network experience.
Welcome to Truth by Billy Bean. Today's date, July 5, 2026, time in Texas, about 11 a.m. And thanks for subscribe, and share.
Guys.
Some of the things we'll cover today.
A
G3, 5 CMEs, another X-flare. So what's going on in space? And we have this. We're hearing some intel reports that Russia has taken out the leader of Ukraine's army military, Skursky. And we have this, that Zelensky is implicated in sending an SBU assassin to Monaco. And President Trump says America does not want communism. So that's going on. We have this. President Trump spoke last night until midnight. We know he's approaching, or is the age of 80. Way to go, President Trump. Celebrating 250 years of American independence, and says that America does not want communism. And in my mind, that would also include the Dem socialism. So that's going on. So we had July 3 and July 5, we had two CMEs coming in, bringing us G2, G3. Today's the 5th. We had one on the 4th, the G3. We had one on the 3rd, a G3. So yeah, the sun is launching and the earth is receiving. And we have this. So today's the 5th, and late yesterday, July 4, we had another X-flare, a 1.3, that also launched a CME, but that one is going to miss the Earth. We did receive ionizing radiation to the top of Earth's atmosphere, taking down and impacting ham radios, and other types of radios in North America. We also had July 3 and July 4, we had a G3 geomagnetic storm. So the night of July 3 to 4, we had a G3 geomagnetic storm. We also had auroras. down to about the mid-U.S., including the states of Colorado, New Mexico, Kentucky, Utah, Washington, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Nevada, California, and Arizona. So that's going on. The Earth is receiving quite a bit from the sun in the last week. Now, excuse me, recall that we had in Venezuela. So we have Venezuela right here. Caracas is their major capital city. We had 2 rare twin earthquakes about a week ago or so. 7.2, no, now about 12 to 13 days. And a 7.5. So we have a small island out here, Trinidad. I'd say maybe 25 miles or so. Well, we had the 2 earthquakes that hit about 30 seconds apart. After they hit, 20 seconds later, we had a 20-foot uplift in this area of the ocean right here. And it uplifted the sea area around Trinidad. And it also lifted their beach 20 feet within 20 seconds of these 2 earthquakes. We see the earth rocking and rolling, don't we? And the people who were on the beach said they felt as if they were in a dream. I mean, you're walking on the beach and suddenly you see the sea, the waves are just coming up. You see that going up 20 feet. You feel yourself going up 20 feet. Yeah. It's enough to be an altered consciousness experience. Absolutely. So that happened. And, the beach went up 20 feet and many birds and marine life died because that was a sudden jolt to their system. And so that's going on. Now we have this from BP talking about the X flares. So in the last 12 hours, this will be about like July 2, we've experienced an opening in Earth's electromagnetic shield. And with the sun then projecting geomagnetic storms, CMEs, the Earth is receiving quite a jolt. So BP says the shield was open about July 1 and closed on July 2nd. So I guess July 1 to July 2nd, the shield was open. As our electromagnetic shield was open, we would have received more energy from the sun. So that's going on. And we did see bright auroras July 3 to 4 down to mid-level U.S. And they were bright because of the geomagnetic 3 storm, in addition to the CME. We have this going on. We know in Iran they're having a funeral for Ayatollah number 1. And we've learned Ayatollah number 2, Mustafa Khamenei, will not attend his father's funeral because he's afraid he will be assassinated. And that these funeral efforts will go on for several days And the viewing of Ayatollah number one's coffin will be in Tehran and other major cities in Iran, and also 2 major cities in Iraq. And we've heard that Medvedev, the deputy chairman of Russia's Security Council, will attend. I believe he was there yesterday in Iran. So that's going on. And we have this. We have from Alex Makaras, Medvedev will attend the funeral. We have from Transition Protocol that the Gulf states are siding with Iran and trying to make secret deals. Yeah. The U.S. is not finished yet, guys. We have this also, excuse me, that Iran expects 20 million people to see the coffin of Ayatollah number one at the 5 locations in Iran and the 2 in Iraq. We have this from U.S. Intel. This came out today, July 5. Excuse me. There are many intel sources saying that Russia went into Ukraine and hit a house. The location is not being provided yet. And the intel is that Russia took out the Ukraine Army Commander Skursky. This has not been verified yet. This information is just coming out to multiple intel locations. So that's going on. July 5, intel comes out that Russia hit today inside Ukraine, excuse me, Skursky, the Ukraine Army commander. So we need further verification on that, more details. We have this July 4, yesterday, that Russia has taken Konstantinova, a key industrial site in the Donbass, and that over the weekend, July 3 and 4, Russia hit 55 Ukraine industrial locations, a drone and missile manufacturers and so on. And we have this. This is coming out also from U.S. intel, from a senior Iran officials, that Ayatollah number 2 Mustafa Khamenei will not attend his father's funeral. So that's going on. We have this from Stephen Gardner, that President Trump, in an CNBC interview, indicated money to Iran is going to be withheld until Iran opens the Strait of Hormuz. We also have this coming out regarding the Nord Stream pipeline. So the Nord Stream pipeline went from Russia. So let me see if I can get this out of the way. In the early part of this conflict between Russia and Ukraine, 2022 or so, Russia had a pipeline that went to Germany. It went across the water. It was called Nord Stream. and it was taken out. I put out much information about it that, for one thing, in the U.S. Situation Room, the U.S. President was watching the Nord Stream being blown up at the time that it was blown up. Now we have this. We have Germany now, which crushed Germany's economy and ultimately Europe's economy, but the European Union leaders, part of their assignment from the deep state was to destroy the economy of Germany and thus destroy the economy of the EU.
Hooray!
So one way they did it was blow up the Nord Stream pipeline.
Get out, Chico. Better stop that. It's only a deer. I'll send you a photo, Kay and Flying Eagle. When did it stop, you guys? When did it stop? Chico. I think I had about 5 minutes left of Billy Bean, so I'm gonna finish up with the last 5 minutes when I connect. I've been having bad weather today, so it might be the weather.
Out that
Sit down.
possibly the oligarch had been running some businesses in Ukraine and not giving Zelensky enough
now?
of the cut or something like that. Other sources
So I think we're just about over.
are saying that this oligarch is really a Ukraine patriot and he wants to take Zelensky down as the masquerader of being the president of Ukraine. Zelensky legally, according to the Ukraine constitution, is no longer president because his term ran out. He illegally said no elections. So Zelensky, whatever he says, whatever he signs, is not legally binding on Ukraine, according to their constitution. So that's going on. And we had Russia also hitting Ukraine, Kiev, their capital, taking down 2 5-star hotels named the Premier Palace and City Hotel Residence. It's believed this happened July 2nd, that Russia also took out NATO officials and other deep state elites when they hit these hotels. They've also hit using deep underground bunkers, hit Zelensky's underground bunker. It's not believed that they hit Zelensky because Zelensky fled from Ukraine about a week ago. He heard someone was hot on his trail. So that's going on. Russia also hit Kharkiv and Zaporizhzhia, Ukraine locations. And it says, according to U.S. intel, Zelensky escaped and went to Ireland. Yeah, there was a hit put out on Zelensky also recently. He's in Ireland. We have this from U.S. intel. Russia hit Kiev July 2nd. They hit Kiev using 30 KH-101 bombs. 10 were intercepted. 24 Iskander, 6 were intercepted. 12 Zircon hypersonic, 0 were intercepted. 6 caliber, 6 were intercepted. So we have 2 KN-5969 bombs. 2 were intercepted. So for a total of 74 missiles hitting Ukraine, launched by Russia. 24 were intercepted. The Patriots, it's a waste of time to try to use Patriots against the Zircon. And so that's going on. We have Ukraine being hit. We have Zelensky running. We have Skursky. His plight is not been fully validated yet. He may have passed over. We have this. The President Trump is now pushing out of the U.S. Chinese renewable assets. He's pushing the Chinese out and putting the Chinese companies up for sale to U.S. companies. Yeah. No Chinese renewable energy companies are going to be allowed to operate in the U.S. We have this from Lay's Real Talk. The CCP, surprisingly, has brought back Hu Chan-hu, who was a believed the person to take Xi's place when he steps down. About 6 months ago, this guy simply disappeared. Now he's back in power and a power position with the CCP. Could this be some kind of message to Xi, the President Xi, that his time has come? We'll see. And we have this, the U.S.
Just about over,
has returned all the B-52s from the UK, Fairford base in UK, and brought them back to the U.S. The U.S. is currently in the position of taking down their military assets in the Middle East. So this concludes my update. I love you, and I'll see you soon.
That was a big one. Okay, we got to keep on rolling here. The next one is a 16-minute one before I do Nick Shirley. Nick Shirley will be 36. This is another important one.
We saw down here today is pure evil.
16 children ranging from 18 months to 18 years old were pulled out of what authorities are calling a house of horrors. Conditions inside described as deplorable.
Our livestock was kept in better conditions than the children.
4 adults arrested, now charged.
All of those counts are felonies of the second degree.
73-year-old Gary Siders and his 36-year-old son appeared together on camera for their arraignment today.
I'll be right with you.
Then 67-year-old Christina Siders and 33-year-old Elizabeth Siders appeared by video, sitting side by side.
Grandma, grandpa, father, and mother at this point. That's what we know.
All 4 adults charged with 16 counts of endangering children and being held on $300,000 bond each. They all pled not guilty.
The Siders are facing anywhere from 16 to 128 years in prison.
Anybody hear
The
this?
house is located in the small village of Hamden, part of Ohio's rural southeastern Appalachian region.
There isn't much evidence that kids live there. I didn't actually go into the room where the kids were. I just looked through the door. That was yesterday. I can still smell. I can't get the smell. The children were kept in a roughly 12 by 12 area. It seems like it's where they've spent the most of the last 4 years.
The big question for me as a defense attorney, who's going to talk first? Someone's going to point the finger at someone.
It's horrific. That's just nasty. It's horrific, really is.
Neighbors are surprised and shaken that this situation could have been happening with no one noticing.
And I prayed a whole lot that that all them kids get better.
Several of the children are in serious condition. 2 of the children had to be care flighted to level 1 trauma centers.
The 16 children were initially checked out. Some were taken to hospitals across the state, where they will likely remain for a while.
Let me tell you something. And I had this conversation on the Millionaire Morning Show, and I hate to say that I told you so, but number one, the first thing that we need to take from this is prayers up for the children, because they didn't have to be here. But 16 children is absolutely insane. 16 children living in deplorable conditions is crazy. I don't even know if there's a word to describe it. And I'm pretty sure that the conditions were so horrific that you're going to probably need some kind of assistance as a person that discovered it from a law enforcement perspective to get over it, right? I can't imagine some of the things that our law enforcement and the people that respond to these type of situations see and how they take that. That's number one. Number two, let me hit on something that I think that very few people really want to have a conversation about. And this is near Appalachian, whatever, right? And we've always known these areas to be incredibly poor. And when I say incredibly poor, I mean super poor. Super poor, a lot of incest, right? And some people would even say that it's racist, but it's not really racist. It's just really a heavy dose of poverty and everything that comes with poverty. And I've said this a lot, and I've said that poverty is demonic, right? Because poverty puts you in a situation where you would do things that you otherwise wouldn't do if you had resources. And so that is one of the reasons why it's very important for you to get your bag up, to get your money up. And not only that, but no longer surround yourself in situations or circumstances where people are trying to stay in that same poverty-stricken mindset. It doesn't matter if you're black. It doesn't matter if you're white. Poverty is poverty. And these are some of the most poverty-stricken people ever. They're asking this question and they're saying, how come nobody was able to notice? How come nobody was able to find out what was going on? I'll tell you exactly why. It's because in these areas of poverty, nobody asks any questions. Nobody is checking for anybody. And you're usually in these rural towns, you don't have the type of community and insight into what other people are doing. And so a lot of this goes unnoticed and it goes swept under the rug for a long time. The better question that we should be asking ourselves is, did every child that live in these deplorable conditions actually even survive?
All right, so I got my HeSit in mail. I'm gonna open it up and show you how it looks. I've heard a lot of good things about this product, so I'm excited to try it out. So as you can see, it comes in and
because they say that it was 16 children that was rescued. I'm wondering if it was more children that ultimately didn't survive these circumstances. You see these people again, when you see them looking crazy and stuff, a lot of that is because it's incest. A lot of that is because people are having children with people that are related to them. And so you see them and they cross-eyed and they're drooling and stuff. That's not normal. That's not natural. This is the stuff that's made in horror movies. These are the things that you see inside of these movies where you go into these wooded areas or whatever and there's never no population or anybody around. And this is the type of stuff that happens. And it happens more often than you think. And there's so many people, so many children that have nobody to come and rescue them. And I would really want to, and I'm going to follow up on this story, I really want to find out, because they're going to get the book thrown at them. I don't think that they're ever going to get out of jail or get out of prison. I really want to know how they were hinted off or how people discovered this situation in the first place. It's very bad.
I think if they would have waited another 24 hours, there was a very high probability that we'd be dealing with a death or multiple deaths of these children.
All right, Chris, thanks so much for the update there. Breaking news, 4 people face multiple felonies after deputies say they abused 16 children, keeping them out of sight for years.
Yeah, the prosecutor calling this pure evil. Today, investigators sharing new details about what they say they found inside the family's home in Vinton County. That's about 2 hours east of us here in Cincinnati. Our WLWT News 5's Todd Dykes live in Vinton County tonight with the very latest on the case. Hi there, Todd.
Hi, Sheree and Ashley. Yeah, I'm here along Main Street in the village of MacArthur after heading east, driving through Claremont, Brown, and Adams County. It was in this courthouse behind me where a judge set bond for the 4 defendants today at $300,000 each in all cash bonds. Deputies say that Gary Siders Sr., Gary Siders Jr., Christina Siders, and Elizabeth Siders abused 16 children ranging in age from 1.5 to 18 years old. Investigators say the Siders kept the kids in a roughly 12-foot by 12-foot room in this house in the extremely small village of Hamden, just south of where I am here in Vinton County. Today, Ohio's acting Attorney General Andy Wilson said a search warrant in an unrelated investigation led to the kids' discovery. He batted down rumors of any kind of human trafficking, saying this is an isolated family situation that could have been deadly if not for the quick work of investigators.
I think if they would have waited another 24 hours, there was a very high probability that we'd be dealing with a death or multiple deaths of these children. We talked to some of the neighbors. We talked to some of the people from the neighborhood. These people have been here for about 4 years, and we've talked to some people who live in the neighborhood who said, I had no idea that kids were even there.
Now, after deputies did find those children, 7 of them were taken to hospitals in the Columbus area. Andy Wilson said that 2 of the kids were in such bad shape they had to be flown by medical helicopter, giving you an indication of what was transpiring in that home, or at least allegedly taking place. It does appear at this point that all of the kids should recover. Everyone's hoping and praying that's the case. The state is now seeking temporary custody. For now, reporting live here in Vinton County, Ohio, Todd Dykes, WLWT News 5.
It is absolutely heart-wrenching. Todd, we know each of the Siders are in jail right now. They're being held on a $300,000.
Okay, that was a big story. I thought I better get out. And so we're going to do one more 10-minute clip before we do Nick Shirley. Lights from last night. Moving right along here. Oh. Play this one next. This is the Liberty one. We didn't play this one yet, have we?
The statue was a gift from France, celebrating our independence. Tonight, the light show and performance with a special narration by Whoopi Goldberg.
$250 years ago, a nation was born from an idea. The idea that every human being could choose their own destiny. That freedom was not a privilege, but a light meant for all. Amid the ocean and the wind, a woman of copper rose against the horizon, liberty enlightening the world. A gesture of fraternity from France, created to celebrate the friendship between 2 nations and their shared ideals of democracy. Dismantled piece by piece, carried across the Atlantic before standing once more at the gates of New York. for millions of men, women, and children.
You guys want to play this or not? I'll stop it. You want me to play it?
The promise of a new world and dreams finally within reach. Tonight, through music and light, we celebrate a symbol, a history, an idea that continues to inspire. A torch raised towards the sky, a promise offered to the world. A beacon lighting the way toward the future. Because in monumental works that make them eternal.
If it gets bad, I'll stop it. Unless you guys want me to stop it completely, I will. Just let me know. Okay, I'll stop it. We'll do Nick Shirley. This is a better one, you guys. Better one.
And right now I'm currently in Chile. I'm going to explain that in a little bit as well. I'm in Santiago, Chile right
22
now.
minutes, you guys.
I'm kind of like, I'm not stuck here. I've been stuck here for the past few days waiting to get into Venezuela. However, to this point, it's going to be impossible to get into Venezuela. So for the past week, I've been trying to get into Venezuela. They had massive earthquakes just about last week, and I've been trying to get into Venezuela for quite some time now, to be honest. And I really wanted to go to see what's happening with this earthquake. And because there's actually been like hardly any media attention on this earthquake yet. Like it could be in the hundreds of thousands that have died. They're saying I believe around 50,000 people have gone missing. And at this point, a lot of people are just dead. And so nobody actually knows how bad it is. And I flew to Florida on Monday to be able to go into Venezuela. I was contacted by a group of retired special forces, and they were going on a mission on their own that they have been approved by other governments and whatnot. So they said I could come with them, and it was going to be perfectly planned so we could enter into Venezuela with this nonprofit that I was going to go with. And I get to Florida, and they say, "Oh, don't worry, we're going to go on Tuesday. We have a direct route into Venezuela that way." But then it just kept getting pushed back. And this group I'm with, like, "Oh, well, we're in contact with the Chilean government, and we've worked before with the military, and we've worked before with the firemen, los bomberos de Chile." And I was like, "Oh, perfect. I actually used to live in Chile for 2 years, so we'll go there." And from there, we were going to have a direct access route into Venezuela from Chile. So I flew all the way down here to Chile to then go to Venezuela. And now I've been stuck here in Chile for the past few days waiting to go to Venezuela. And to this point, it's going to be impossible. So what happened actually was Venezuela was letting people come in to help with humanitarian relief after this earthquake. And they allowed people in. And then this Monday, the second week of the earthquake, they said no more. And they started being very selective about who they're letting in. So now they're not letting anyone. Essentially, they're worried that a lot of people are worried that the Venezuelan government, they're obviously communist government, they don't want really anyone to see what's actually happening. inside of Venezuela at the moment, so they're starting to block everyone. But we were told that if we came to Chile, we'd have an easier access to come in because we were going in with the Chileans. And I thought, okay, that would work. But we've been here for a few days now, and I've been stuck in Chile just chilling and waiting and doing our best to try to get in. But to this point, it's been literally impossible. So we failed the mission of going to Venezuela. I was super, super, super excited to go and show you guys what was actually happening there. But at this point, it's literally impossible. Maybe in a few weeks, I'll be trying to get back into Venezuela. But yeah, this whole entire week I've spent trying to get into Venezuela, but it's been literally impossible. It's super sad. I pretty much abandoned the mission this morning. Last night, I went out and I met with some Chileans that I was friends with when I lived here, and they started telling me what was happening as well, because we thought that we were going to be able to get in, obviously. And then last night was when I knew I was not going, because even the Chileans that had permission from the government just a few weeks prior, now they're being investigated inside of Venezuela. So like the Chileans who have all the documentation, have their paperwork to be in Venezuela, now even the Venezuelan military is investigating them. So for me to be in there, it would have just been even worse. And it probably would have been very similar to what happened in Cuba. So I'm going to wait my time to get into Venezuela, and then we'll be able to get in. But it's super, super sad what's happening right now in Venezuela. I've been spending some time with some Venezuelans here in Chile that I used to actually live with when I lived here in Chile. And they're saying it's way, way, way worse than anyone knows. Because they really don't have that much social media inside of Venezuela. So everything has to leave the country and then get posted. And nobody actually knows what's going on. So I came and talked to the Venezuelans that are living here in Chile, who have family in Venezuela, who they've been contacting with. And they just say it's absolutely horrific. And the smells right now in Venezuela, that was another issue, was like the smell right now inside of Caracas is so bad because of all the dead people and the people that have been killed by the earthquake, that now it's starting to get really bad. And then another problem with the earthquake was, from the intel that we've gathered from inside Venezuela as well, is that when these disasters hit inside of these third world countries, the criminals take advantage of the disaster. So essentially, on top of that, human trafficking is really bad right now in Venezuela, and the gangs are starting to do their thing inside of Venezuela because it's just in complete chaos right now. Some of the worst earthquakes that have happened in at least the past 10 years on the Western Hemisphere happened in Venezuela, and their infrastructure was not good. So there's literally videos of just buildings just crumbling down, and no one knows what's going on. That's why I wanted to go. And that's why I was attempting to get into Venezuela. But literally, we're running out of options. And now I'm here in Venezuela, or now I'm here in Chile, and I've been stuck here for the past few days, and there's no way we're getting into Venezuela. So we failed on that mission. Let's see if there's anything else to tell you guys about. So yeah, just to recap for those that are joining now, was in Florida all week, and from Sunday till Wednesday I was in Florida waiting to get on a plane to go to Venezuela. They cut off those planes. They're not letting anyone in. And then the group I was with said, oh, let's go to Chile, because they know some people inside the Chilean army and their Chilean firefighters, and they were going to be going to Venezuela. And so we were going to then go with them, with the Chilean military. But now I've been here for 3 days, and it's not going to happen at all. The group I was with, they're not even going. They have time to wait. I don't have time to wait. I have more videos I have to share with you guys, more things I have to post, more work I have to do, and I can't put any more effort into this project at the moment. But we're going to keep moving forward in what we go on with. And yeah, it sucks. I have to abandon this mission, this video. As you guys know, I will literally go to any extent to make a video happen. Literally, I flew down here to Chile just to try and make this video happen, to then go to Venezuela. I've been spending an entire week on this. 100%, I was 100% dedicated to it, but now I have no options, absolutely no options. And 4th of July is tomorrow too. So in the United States, 250th, which was going to be a bummer that I was going to miss. Now I'm going to be flying home tonight. Hopefully be able to spend some time in the United States for the 4th of July. So that should be good. And on top of that, I got some other family stuff that I have to attend to. And I was willing to miss my sister's wedding to make this Venezuela video happen, but my sister gets married next week, and I was literally ready to miss the wedding, but yeah, I have to abandon ship on this mission, and it sucks. It's a failure, but I guess it is what it is. We were trying all week to do this, but try your best. Sometimes you don't succeed, but at least you gave the full effort. So that's kind of it. I just kind of wanted to update you guys. I've never done a live stream like this where I come on and just tell you guys what happens, but it's worth a shot. Got to come back to Chile. If you guys don't know, I lived here for 2 years and spent a lot of time with Chileans, with Venezuelans. That's why I actually started to cover the issues I started to cover when I came back from Chile, because I learned so much about what's happened with the migrant crisis inside the United States. And then I saw it firsthand from the people that were fleeing Venezuela and they came here to Chile. That's how I learned so much about it. And so like Chile has a special spot in my heart as well. So it was cool to come back here, but because literally without my time here in Chile, my channel would not be where I'm at now because of the experiences and the things I've learned when I was here. So I'm actually going to introduce you guys to one of the families I used to live with when I was here in Chile. Her name's Wildry, and with Wildry yesterday I came and visited him, and I gave Wildry $1,000, and then I gave her son like $200, another son like $200 as well. And then I came back today and I talked with her, and she's like, told me like, thank you so much for the money, like it's amazing, like she's been saving it for a car for a while now. And I was like, well, how much is the car? She said, well, it's $2,000, so that's gonna help a lot. And I said, oh, maybe I might be able to help with that. So I actually went and grabbed some more money, and we're going to pay for Wildry's car right now. So we're going to do that right now. We got some extra cash we're going to give Wildry, and she will be able to get a car now for her and her family. So that'll be really cool. Good. All right, this is where we're at right now. We're literally Santiago en Puente Alto, it's called.
Another good one.
Like, buena, ¿qué pasa? ¿Qué tal? ¿Todo bien? Todo bien. All right, here we go. All right, we're going to the Wildry's house right now. Buena, Wildry y Carlitos. ¿Qué tal? Todo bien. Wildry, ¿cómo está? Wildry, I tried my best to get into Venezuela. Me esforcé para entrar a Venezuela, pero no podía.
Es mejor que te quedes aquí.
She said it's better that I stay here and avoid it. And Wildry, yo voy a hacer algunas preguntas en inglés y después voy a traducir. Okay? Yeah, and Wildry. Wildry's from Venezuela. I was with her last night, and she was telling me about how bad it was, and that actually probably wasn't the best idea for me to go because of what's happening. What's happening in Venezuela right now? ¿Qué está pasando en Venezuela ahora?
Ahorita, bueno, hace una semana acaba de ocurrir una tragedia. Como todos sabemos, lo del terremoto. Y bueno, hay muchos fallecidos, mucha gente herida, mucha gente desaparecida.
Sí, she's saying a lot of people died. There's an earthquake. ¿Cuántas personas creen que han fallecido? How many people do you think died so far?
La última información que vi fue de 2,000, casi 2,300 personas.
2,300 y
10,000 y tantas heridas, desaparecidas.
Yeah, so around like 3,000 confirmed deaths, and then there's 10,000, probably hay 100,000 personas que están perdidos.
Another dog outside.
So 10,000 could be 100,000.
Hace como una hora se cayó una iglesia y un colegio en La Pastora.
Yeah, and just a few hours ago, a church and a school came down.
Un colegio.
Carlos, ¿podría grabar eso? Mira, puede, venga, ya grabarlo así.
Yeah.
Perfecto, ya tenemos el vivo. Es un poco raro. It's a little weird that we're doing this live stream right now. I've never done anything like this. We're here with Wildry. Wildry is like my Venezuelan mother. Usted es como mi mamá venezolana, ¿cierto?
Sí, yo soy tu mamá venezolana.
Sí.
De hace 3 años.
4 años. It's been 3 years since I've been here. Wildry made me lots of food. I spent time with our son. I actually baptized your son. And spent a lot of good time with Wildry, your husband, and the other son. And we had lots of bien tiempos aquí, muchos buenos tiempos.
Sí, vivimos muchos buenos tiempos. Aventura, travesura.
Lots of adventures, lots of videos.
Experiencia.
I couldn't watch YouTube when I was on my church mission, so I would come here and watch YouTube. So I could stay up to date with everything. And yesterday I gave Wildry $1,000, and then today, like I said, I was with her, and she said, "Thank you so much for the $1,000. I'm gonna go towards las money to buy a car." Hoy día he estado con usted y usted me dijo que estaba muy agradecido por los $1,000 que me dio ayer, que quiere más que un auto.
Sí, le estaba diciendo a mi hijo que íbamos a juntar un poquito más para comprarnos un autito para ponernos a trabajar con el auto. Y así y producimos para seguir juntando. Y así no gastamos la plata.
She's saying now her and her sons are gonna save up some money to buy a car.
Claro.
Yeah.
Poner el dinero como a valer un poco más, pues. A no dejarlo dormido, sino activarlo.
Yeah, she's trying to make money with the car because they'll be able to do Uber with it. She can actually like rent it out to somebody to do Uber, then she makes money passively, so that way the money's making money, right? So you're bueno. ¿Cuánto es un auto? How much is the car?
El muchacho me dijo que habían en 1,800, mi compadre me dijo que habían en 2,000. Depende de la marca, depende de en 1,500, 1,600, 1,700, pero para que entren aplicaciones tiene que ser un año más o menos.
Yeah. She's saying cars are like $1,800.
Pero sí, trabajando un poquito más se
so.
puede. Vamos a ver qué tanto podemos hacer. Pero sí, confío.
Sería bueno si puede comprar todo su auto. A ver.
Sí, pero aquí cabe. Lo ponemos aquí.
A ver, podemos.
Y lo podemos poner a trabajar.
Hace frío. You guys, I left my jacket with all my money.
Hace mucho frío.
Sí.
Yo no he subido la foto del cumpleaños de...
So she needed $1,000. So we got the rest of the $1,000 so she can finish buying your car. Y ahora van a poder comprar auto. Now you're gonna buy your car.
Chili, ¿qué está pasando? ¿En serio?
Sí, ahora puede comprar auto.
¡Wow! ¡Qué bendición! ¿De verdad?
Es verdad, ahora tiene suficiente para comprar.
¿Es en serio, Chili? No te creo, en serio.
Sí, ahora tiene auto.
Oh, gracias, Chili. No vale, te estás pasando.
Sí.
Bueno.
Ahora tiene suficiente para comprar.
¿Qué? Un carro.
Un carro.
Ay, Chile. Un carro, la casa.
Sí.
Bueno, que Dios te multiplique.
Igual.
Ahí lo vas a ver. Ahí lo vas a ver para nos vemos ahí.
Ya. Van a estacionarlo aquí.
Sí. Mañana no vamos a comprar. Sí, hay que buscarla que no tenga multa, que sea transferible, como Cristian tiene el papel. Y mientras tanto, bueno, buscaré a alguien porque Cristian va a sacar la licencia. Pues la idea es que Cristian no trabaje porque quede entre nosotros.
Her son's gonna buy it, everything,
Sí, pero por ahora primero lo vamos a comprar.
La abuela está feliz.
Pero que ella lo contrata. No, y como me dijo él que mejor es un auto que una moto, porque como ella se ha enfermado, a la hora de algo, una persona que maneja me lleva rápido para el hospital.
And just a few months ago, I also paid for hace algunos meses compré sus medicina para su cáncer.
En noviembre.
Yeah, last November I paid for this lady's cancer treatments.
Ya me la están dando.
Sí.
Porque cuando ella estaba en Perú no se las daban ni mi hermana podía comprarla. Entonces ella le dieron 2 paros al corazón, 2 ataques al corazón. Y cuando que tuvo un ella compró, yo solo deposité completico y ella compró las medicinas, le hicieron un electro, muchas cosas con ese dinero. Y como ya está aquí, ya ella tiene ella tiene RUT de salud, le dan todas las medicinas menos una que es la que le compramos.
Bueno, usted. Qué bueno. Ahora van a tener auto, ya está bien de salud, you're gonna have a car, now you got good health. Ya tiene todo lo que necesita, you got everything you need.
Dios es buena.
Ahora pololo.
Chili.
Kia creates inspiration that connects the world. Inspiration connects us all.
Now we got to go help people customize and save hundreds with Liberty Mutual. Maybe where's the golf cart?
Han sido un gran bendición para mí. You guys have been a big blessing for my life as well. Without you guys, without your story, I probably would never gotten to what I did when I put my YouTube channel. No, sin conocer a ustedes, no hubiera entrado de lo que quería hacer cuando volví a mi casa para hacer mi canal de YouTube sin la esperanza y todo lo que ustedes me pasaron. Así que les quiero bendecir cuando pueda. I want to bless you guys when I can. So, muchas gracias.
Que Dios te siga bendiciendo también a ti grandemente en todo. Te siga abriendo las puertas, las ventanas, los caminos, todo.
Ya no vaya a Venezuela. Le dije que no fuera, que se quedara.
Yeah, not going to Venezuela anymore. I tried. I failed.
Fue cuando ya se gobierno.
Me fallé.
Cuando ese gobierno ahí sí puedes ir a donde sea.
Yeah.
Pero por ahora no.
Sí,
está bueno.
They're telling me not to go to Venezuela.
La persona,
I'm not going.
las noticias que he podido ver, desaparecieron un chico que ayudó a salvar como más de 200 personas.
Yeah, like they're kidnapping people right now.
Y lo desaparecieron y resulta
Like guy
que
who helped save 2,000 people is now
está
disappeared by the government.
en
So
el helicoide, que es la tortura para las personas.
he said that now he's getting tortured. So
Así que prefiero que me vayas.
probably the best thing I didn't go.
Haz tu contenido de acuerdo a lo que vea, lo que yo te pase, yo te puedo pasar cosas para que hagas, pero no, cuida tu vida, tu integridad.
Yeah, one last thing while we have you guys here. They escaped communism and socialism. They had to flee Venezuela because of how bad it got. And right now in the United States, communism is very popular. People think it's a good idea that we have communism, that we have socialism. It's on the rise. A lot of people are saying capitalism as well, that capitalism is bad. And now you're seeing a lot of these leaders get elected inside the United States that are pro-communist and pro-socialist, which essentially are the same thing. But what would be your message to those that think communism is a good idea? ¿Qué sería su mensaje a ellos que piensan que el comunismo es una buena idea? Porque ahora en los Estados Unidos es como muy popular la idea. ¿Qué sería su mensaje a ellos que piensan que el comunismo es una buena idea?
¿Qué piensas tú de que en Venezuela piensan que el comunismo es una buena idea? ¿Te ha parecido a ti que es una buena idea lo que está pasando? Como es el gobierno de Venezuela.
She lived in capitalism and she also lived in communism. Viví cuando estaba el capitalismo y también cuando era comunismo. ¿Qué sería el mensaje a ellos que piensan que el comunismo es mejor que el capitalismo?
No estoy de acuerdo con eso. De verdad, no sé mucho de política, no sé mucho de eso y todo se lo dejo a Dios y que Dios tenga el control de todo el mundo y todo Venezuela.
Yeah, she doesn't get too much in
Pero en
there.
el capitalismo, obviamente que un país tiene que tener capitalismo, porque
She's saying, obviously,
las
country needs
empresas
capitalism.
cómo invierten en un país que no van a adquirir ganancias.
She's how do you invest in a country that doesn't?
Tiene que haber un control entre el capital. En todo país tiene que haber capitalismo.
She
Si
says,
no,
all countries
los
need to have
empresarios
capitalism,
no existieran.
or else entrepreneurs don't exist.
Porque todos los países que tienen comunismo y socialismo,
Because
como
every
están,
country-
mira Cuba,
Every country that has capitalism,
Venezuela,
or every country that has
y
communism,
muchos países más.
socialism, Cuba, for example, Venezuela.
Pues no. Entonces quieren comunismo para el pueblo, pero capitalismo para ellos.
They want
Son dos
communism for
liberales.
the people, but capitalism for themselves. That's what she said. Bueno, muchas gracias. Ahora tiene auto. Tiene auto y bien salud ahora. You got a car. You got a car and good health now. So life's great.
Gracias a ti, mi amor. Gracias a ti.
Gracias a ustedes. Les amo mucho. Gracias, gracias.
Abrazo.
Y mi hijo, my son, Carlos, right here. It's my boy. Muchas gracias, amigo. Ahora su mamá va a tener auto. Now your mom's gonna have a auto.
Se vuelve loca porque la agarro ya y salgo.
Yeah, y usted no puede salir con eso todavía. Muchas gracias a todos. Thank you everybody for joining the live stream.
Okay, that was another good one with Nick there. I got a 4-part short clips with Michigan senator. Then I'm gonna try to get to Trish's new video that just came out. I think she has one on Adam's ship, and then I hope to get to Derek's new ones today.
Somebody slip you some whatever you need. Keep it going, because it demonstrates the stupidity of your arguments. The Democrats are true radicals. They don't want to negotiate. They don't want to debate. They want to obstruct. They want to obstruct common sense. This is common sense. We should do common sense things. Let's make sure only Americans are voting in our elections. Makes sense, right? I want to hear what Chuck Schumer has to say on the floor in full debate about why he opposes this measure.
Congressman Byron Donalds just went nuclear on the United States Senate, and it's about time someone said it. 80% of Americans want voter ID and secure elections. The House passed the SAVE Act, but the Senate, they're hiding. Donalds called them out for being lazy, obstructionist, and terrified of debating in public. He said let Bernie Sanders filibuster for 6 months if he wants, expose how stupid their arguments are. Watch this, then stick around. I'm breaking down why the Senate is broken.
The Senate sucks. I'm just going to come out and say it. They suck. This is not hard. 80% of the American people want the Save America Act to pass. Not 80% of Republicans, 80% of the American people. And the only organization that refused to act is the United States Senate. Everybody else is saying, this is common sense. We should do common sense things. Let's make sure only Americans are voting in our elections. Makes sense, right? Let's protect the franchise of the American people. Let's make sure that people who are sent to Washington are being voted on by Americans. Who the American people choose is up to them, but we have a responsibility to secure that franchise and to secure that process for the American people. And what is happening in the U.S. Senate is laziness, and quite frankly, it's disgusting. What? The Senate Democrats don't want to have voter ID in America. Why? Because they want to maintain their power. Senate Republicans don't want to do the right thing and actually have a true filibuster on the floor and debate the matter on the floor, because it would take them away from their precious meetings that they have to conduct. I'm sorry. They have a responsibility to open up the Senate floor and debate this issue in front of the American people.
Well said. I got other ones, the other three, but I'm going to play this 1 minute clip. It's pretty cool.
If Bernie Sanders wants to hold
Chicago, and they're flying over Chicago. That was cool.
on the floor in full debate about why he opposes this measure. I want to hear what Elizabeth Warren has to say about why she would oppose this measure. I want her to tell the people of Massachusetts why she believes that the people of Massachusetts should not have to show a photo ID in order to vote in a federal election in the United States of America. Just the other day, President Obama opened up his presidential library in Chicago. You needed an ID to attend the event. So if you're going to show up for President Obama's library, you got to present a voter ID, a photo ID to gain access to that event. But to vote in our elections, you don't have to do that. That makes no sense. It's crazy and it's stupid. And so the United States Senate has a responsibility to open up that floor, use Senate procedure, actually have a debate. You have a filibustering debate. If Bernie Sanders wants to hold the floor of the U.S. Senate for 6 months, let him. Go ahead. Swap out the depends. Get some body armor. Somebody slip you some whatever you need. Keep it going, because it demonstrates the stupidity of your argument. And that is what the American people want to see. I, for one, want to see what their argument is, but we're not getting that because, and to be blunt, because we have Republican senators who still believe that the US Senate is operating in 1990 America. That is ridiculous. The Democrats are true radicals. They don't want to negotiate. They don't want to debate. They want to obstruct. They want to obstruct common sense. One of the other pieces of legislation, and actually our good friend Chip Roy was a sponsor of that one too, codifying Donald Trump's border security measures, would pass overwhelmingly in the House. The Democrats would all vote no. Why? Because they want open borders. It's that simple. It's been proven now twice in his first administration and now that his procedures secure this nation. The Democrats don't want to support that because they don't want to secure this nation. But if the Republicans in the Senate hide behind this arcane rule where they don't even go to the floor and debate these matters until they vote to end debate, like, this is ridiculous. Nobody else operates like this except the US Senate. There is not one state in America that has a filibuster rule like what's up here on Capitol Hill. Not one. Go to
Part 2.
the package. It is only here where US senators are too lazy to actually get in a room and truly negotiate. They rather go to their lunches behind closed doors and point fingers at the president because the president is doing his job that he was elected to do and swept the battleground states for, which is to make sure that this nation is secure for the future of the United States and its people. This is nuts. They need to come back. They need to pass this legislation. And with respect to colleagues who are saying, yeah, we're done doing business in the House until this gets passed, hey, Senate, ball's in your court. Open it up, do the right thing, actually debate, actually negotiate, come to some compromise, and let's see what you do.
You can do it! You can do it!
Byron Donalds just said what every American has been thinking. The United States Senate is broken, lazy, and an embarrassment. 80% of Americans support the SAVE Act, not 80% of Republicans, 80% of all Americans. The bill requires proof of citizenship to vote in federal elections. That's it. Common sense. And the House passed it. But the Senate won't even debate it. Donalds nailed the hypocrisy. You need a photo ID to attend Obama's presidential library. You need ID to board a plane, buy alcohol, or rent a car. But Democrats say requiring ID to vote is voter suppression. That's insane. If it's not racist to require ID for a library opening, it's not racist to require it for voting. So why won't Senate Democrats debate it? Because they have no argument. Donald said it perfectly. I want to hear Chuck Schumer explain on the Senate floor why he opposes this. I want Elizabeth Warren to tell Massachusetts voters why they shouldn't need ID. They won't do it because they can't defend it. And here's the part that infuriated me. Senate Republicans are just as guilty. They're hiding behind arcane filibuster rules that let them avoid floor debates. Donalds called them out for still operating like it's 1990. They'd rather have closed-door lunches and point fingers than actually debate in public where Americans can see. Donalds challenged them. If Bernie Sanders wants to filibuster for 6 months, let him.
Okay, last part, and we'll get to DJ. I might have a clip here from our friend Tracy. Hey, Tracy. Oh, wait, we got to do a Trish video.
Whatever he needs, but make him defend his position in front of the country, because the moment he opens his mouth, the stupidity of the Democrat argument will be exposed. Every other state legislature in America operates with up or down votes. They debate, negotiate, and vote. Only the U.S. Senate hides behind procedural games to avoid accountability. And Donald's is sick of it. So am I. So are you. The Democrats are radicals. They don't want negotiation. They don't want debate. They want obstruction. They want open borders so illegals can flood the country and potentially vote. They want unsecured elections so they can manipulate results. And they're using the Senate's broken rules to block common sense legislation that the American people are begging for. And it's not just voter ID. Donald's pointed out that the House also passed a bill to codify Trump's border security measures, the ones that worked in his first term, the ones that secured the border and reduced illegal crossings. Democrats voted no because they want open borders. It's that simple. The Senate has a responsibility to open the floor and debate these bills. Let Schumer explain why citizenship shouldn't be required to vote. Let Warren defend why Massachusetts voters shouldn't show ID. Let the American people hear their arguments and judge for themselves. But they won't do it because they know their arguments are garbage. They know the American people overwhelmingly support these policies, so they hide, they obstruct, they use procedural tricks to avoid votes, and Republican senators let them get away with it because they're too comfortable with the status quo. Donald's ended with a direct challenge. The House has done its job. The ball is in the Senate's court. Open the floor, debate, negotiate, vote, do your job. And if you won't, the American people need to see exactly who's blocking common sense legislation. This is why we need fighters like Byron Donalds. He's not playing the old games. He's not worried about being polite to Senate traditions. He's demanding accountability. He's demanding that our representatives actually represent the will of the people. And he's exposing the lazy...
Okay, those are clips up there. More arguments from the senators. Okay. Oh, wait, this wasn't Adam Schiff. This was something else, you guys. This was something else.
Years old. He came here from Ethiopia, and now she's getting to go to Congress, possibly. We'll see. I mean, again, it's a very heavy blue area, and so they very may well elect her. And then she's going to be campaigning for open borders and a pathway to citizenship. What is that about other than an opportunity to kind of take a hold of more power, right? We've talked about the method to the madness. By the way, she's on with Hassan Piker, who I wouldn't necessarily consider a friend of the United States of America, who I believe is heavily supported by the likes of China. He actually disputes this assessment, but we saw him down in Cuba, ladies and gentlemen, with Code Pink, who is Code Pink funded by Neville Singman, okay? So he wasn't paying his own hotel bill, as far as I knew, and he's actually kind of nervous about it. We played you all that sound because now there's an investigation underway, and he's like, well, I really think they're after Neville Singman. They're not after me. Well, they might actually be after you too, because you shouldn't be taking money from a foreign entity unless, of course, you're going to register as a foreign agent, which you're welcome to do. Okay, because I think you are a foreign agent, Hassan Piker, at this point. And I'm looking at the Ethiopian from Colorado and saying maybe she is also a foreign agent. Is she being backed by the same group that's putting money into places like Hassan Piker's show? And probably a whole bunch of others that we won't get into, but I'll tell you, there's some funny stuff going on, really, really funny stuff. But it's got to end. Okay, it's got to end. And this administration knows it's got to end. Democrats are getting nervous. Sure, maybe they're not going to win. Maybe they don't even care. Maybe their whole power comes from one thing and one thing only. Maybe the power is still, let's just be anti-Trump. I mean, that's what Adam Schiff is still spouting. This nonsense, listen to him.
She has sympathetic references to communism, talks about a Marxist ideology, talks about seizing the means of production, abolish police, prisons, and borders, wiping her hands on a U.S. flag. She now says, quote, I have grown considerably in the years since these tweets, and I'm focused on our community and our community's future, which is not exactly disowning the comments. What do you make of these comments and the fact that this is a growing brand of the Democratic Party?
Well, I wouldn't say that those comments are reflective of a growing brand in the party. I understand that she's advocated closing all prisons, defunding police departments, opening borders. None of those views are within the mainstream of the Democratic Party. Now, what went on in her...
She's probably going to be a member of Congress, though.
She will, at this point, having won the primary, probably be a member of Congress. That doesn't mean that she's reflective of the whole party. You also saw some very centrist wins in primaries. We had a centrist win in Iowa in the primary. We had centrist win in the governor's races in New Jersey and Virginia. All that's to say it's hard to extrapolate from one campaign or even three in New York City and say this is a nationwide trend. But I will say this, it is reflective, among other things, of the power of Mamdani, of Mayor Mamdani. I think he is incredibly charismatic leader. I think he is inspiring New Yorkers and winning people over and has enormous clout in New York. There was a lot of fear when the AOC first ran for office that she was going to be this dangerous influence. She's been a great member of Congress. She's been articulate and forceful and made a profound case for change. So I'm not afraid of new members or new ideas in the party. I welcome it. One thing, though, I think is an absolute takeaway in these races, as in others, and that is the status quo is just deeply unacceptable to the American people, and they're looking for change agents.
Okay, so he's trying to say, I welcome this. I welcome all ideas. I actually don't think he does. I think that was Adam Schiff sounding very nervous. That, to me, was Adam Schiff very reticently saying, okay, well, we're hearing them. Because, things aren't fair. And by the way, don't get me wrong, things aren't perfectly fair. Okay, I would agree with that. I mean, I was looking at some numbers today. You've heard me go on and on about the middle class squeeze, right? And the hourglass economy, as I call it, where you have a lot on top and a lot on bottom, right? Because you come here, you get all kinds of freebies, and they give you cards for free food, and you get a free cell phone, and heck, if you go to New York, you can hang out at the Roosevelt Hotel. Well, they'll put you up with daily maid service. I mean, in all seriousness, it's got to stop. Like, we cannot afford this. We actually need to focus on helping people who are here in this country right now. So, yes, the hourglass economy is real, but the solution is not communism, okay? Like, it's just not. The solution is real policy to help everyday folks, to give them a chance to go out and earn a living themselves, to have less regulation and less tax, so you put more people in charge of their own destiny. The solution is not to have more regulation and more tax so that no one's in charge of their destiny. This is where they've landed us. This was not the Democrat Party that I grew up with. No way, no how. These are, as you saw in that ad, brilliant ad by the RNC, these are full-fledged, I would argue, anti-American communists that want to ruin our country and are going to take any wedge they possibly can. What do you think George Floyd and DEI was all about? Let's try to divide. What do you think male versus female is all about? Let's divide again. I mean, okay, now we're going to go after Jews. That's what they're doing, guys. All right. They're going after any group, and eventually they're going to get to you and they're going to go after you. So we need to nip it in the bud. It's important to nip it in the bud. Maybe one way to help nip it in the bud is to stop all the crazies from coming here to begin with. We'll go after the money, too, that's funding them. China, Iran. No more, okay? No more. Figure out who's funding these people and stop it at the source. The Trump administration got some rather bad news yesterday. The Supreme Court decided that, you know what, if you're born here, you are automatically an American citizen. Now, I would argue that the 14th Amendment is completely antiquated in light of what we're talking about today. The 14th Amendment was actually designed after slavery to ensure that any Black American who had been born here was an American. And we were living in a time where you didn't have, for example, boats that would, I guess you had boats. You didn't have planes that would just drop people off, hey, a few weeks before you give birth. And we didn't have the espionage issue that we have now, right? So think about it. China, Russia, Iran. Well, it might be a little bit harder to get into this country from Iran these days. But, these other places, you could come here, have a baby, make sure you got their passport, and then head back home. That child could be raised overseas and have no affinity for the US of A, and in fact could even be a spy against the US of A, could be a very bad actor, and yet has all American rights. Well, the administration is onto this, and they said, okay, fine. So the Supreme Court is not going to give us this, but there's other ways, more than one ways to skin a cat, so to speak, and they're looking for those different ways. For starters, we have to end birth tourism. Full stop. End of story. No more, no way, no how. Listen to this Fox report. I mean, everybody seems to be in agreement. You cannot come here, give birth, and expect a passport. Like, we have ways of dealing with this that are different than, what the Supreme Court says. And it sounds like we're dealing with it. Watch.
They're going to try to change the law to end birthright citizenship.
I hate to call it birthright citizenship. It's fundamentally a loophole that now exists in our immigration system that rewards illegal aliens just because they have a baby in the United States. There are a number of things that we're already looking at in the administration, Laura, to try to close down that loophole.
So he's calling it a loophole, and this is how many people, we've got a graphic to show how many people benefit from it every year. 260,000 babies every year are given automatic U.S. citizenship who have parents that are not citizens or lawful permanent residents. When it goes to the birth tourism citizens, that is 20 to 26,000 per year. Justice Samuel Alito, who is not retiring despite an erroneous NPR report yesterday that he was, says this is one of the most important decisions in the history of the court. And in my judgment, the court has made a serious mistake. It was a much better day for the Trump platform regarding trans athletes. The president.
Yeah, that was good news on the trans athletes. Thank goodness. Okay, like some, again, normalcy being restored. But this one was more controversial. We knew it was an uphill battle. Okay, like we went into this knowing it was uphill. One of the reasons this became such an issue was just because you had too many people coming here and too much of a security threat, frankly, because of the people coming here getting this automatic citizenship. So there was some hope that, they would apply the reality that it was a different time when this was written, and it doesn't actually apply to anybody coming here. But that's not the case. Okay, so I'm a big believer. We're not going to dwell on it. I get it, Keith. You said you had a horrible day yesterday. You were so devastated by this. I'm just looking at your comments here. And yes, peace of my mind, this really is giving new meaning to the word anchor baby, indeed. But I would just say, okay, it's over. So let's move forward and let's think about how we actually clean up the border situation so that we don't have people that are coming here and just giving birth and collecting a passport, or we don't have people that are coming here to give birth and then never leave and continue to collect welfare. Like, that's not going to work for us either. So leave it to Miller. Okay. So Stephen Miller goes on my friend Jesse's show. Jesse's great. We work together at Fox. He's a really, fun, interesting, colorful character who isn't afraid to say what sometimes needs to be said. So he just let it all hang out. He's like, okay, what are we doing? We're going to tell pregnant women they can't come to the US of A. And Miller's about to say, yeah, that may not be such a bad idea. I mean, think about what's at stake. And I'm telling you, Miller was on fire. Let's go to it.
Are we banning foreign pregnant women?
Well, what I'm saying, Jesse, is that you have to now think very carefully about who you let into your country, even on a temporary basis, because the possibility, as you said, for birth tourism, right? The idea that people come here just to have babies on American soil, and that baby gets to be a citizen for life. So you have mothers that come in fully pregnant, have a baby, go home, and again, that baby gets Medicaid, and that baby gets welfare, and that baby gets cash assistance, and can send, leave the baby with, a cousin, a relative, whatever, and then to send welfare checks back home. You can support a whole family in the third world. So yes, you can't have the kinds of immigration programs other countries have when you can just have a baby here, and now that child is an American citizen. So there's a lot of things we're going to have to take a hard look at, Jesse.
Yeah, they can even get Trump accounts.
Look at this. My package finally arrived. I actually ordered 2 boxes of Hyacid. Seriously, no dentist appointment needed. And these bionic gums are super flexible. It looks absolutely natural, and it's even FDA certified.
Well, don't let them have the Trump accounts, okay? We got to save those for real Americans. Look, a lot of these people probably wouldn't even want them, right? Because it has Trump's name on them. Well, then again, it's free stuff, right? And they're taking free stuff from anyone they can take free stuff from. This has to change, though. And I know we can laugh about it and we can joke about it. Well, how do you do that, right? Well, I think for starters, you got to shut down birth tourism. This is time to get serious. Very, very serious. And Tom Homan, he saw that verdict as well yesterday. He's a serious person, a very serious man who has devoted his entire career to making sure that we enforce borders. Okay? Congress writes the law. It is the executive branch's job to enforce it. And so you have DHS there for a reason. Let's let Homan explain what comes next. No more birth tourism in the United States of America.
Exactly right. I mean, the first thing I saw the decision, which I don't agree with, is okay, now we step up enforcement. We step up more enforcement. Even though we're doing record amounts of enforcement now, we need to do more. And not only that, we need to, really buckle down on birth tourism. We have many investigations on birth tourism, but we need to quadruple down on that. And look, I agree with Judge Alito. First of all, I've been doing this since 1984. That's when I started in Border Patrol. This birthright citizenship has always been a major driver for illegal immigration. During the Biden administration, the Yuma Hospital, the El Paso Hospital, 100% maternity beds for illegal aliens. That's not a coincidence. That's not by accident. But it's always been a driver for illegal immigration. But more importantly, it's a national security issue. Because the birth tourism investigation I'm aware of, you got nationals from China and Russia coming here by the thousands, having a baby and leaving. Now, so we have U.S. citizens by the thousands and this continued by the millions living in countries that I think are adversaries to us that can come here and have an impact on how this country is run. So it's a national security issue, a huge proportion that we need to address. And I hope Congress does it.
At the broadest and most shallow level, I bring up the World Cup, Tom, but the point really is, do you have a citizenry that is loyal to the country, that actually values and prioritizes the United States of America? And I would argue you have to have a citizenry that believes that.
And right now, we have a citizenry that doesn't necessarily believe that believes that their way is better. I mean, apparently they got it figured out in Somalia. Actually, I think they have voter ID in Somalia. Okay, so maybe they do a few things better. But the point just being, sure, you can come here and want to make this country a better place. I don't dispute that. But I'm not so sure they want to make it a better place. I think they want to make it much more like the communist, what holes that they come from.
Have you ever seen a product that transforms any ordinary space into a dreamy underwater world in just 1 second? Meet the Kamau Immersive Ocean Projector, the mood light that's taking the market by storm.
And when I look collectively at all of these socialist commies, from Mamdani to his backup singers, I can never remember nor pronounce their names, so we're just going to go with backup singers. There's 3 of them in New York. That's all you need to know, okay? Mamdani and the backup singers. Then you got AOC and Presley with no hair in Massachusetts. Who else? Rashida Tlaib, who just loves Palestine so much she really ought to move back there. I mean, all of these people seem to have one thing in common. They just hate America. Now, why can't you love America and want to make America better? Right? What's wrong with that? No, you have to hate America. And then they teach young people to hate America because Donald Trump is running the show. Have you noticed, anybody think it's weird? Here we are at 250 years and I mean, I was a really, like, I don't have any kind of conscious memory, except I think maybe I was twirling a baton in the in the bicentennial when I was like really little. Anyway, I don't have that much of a memory, but my husband is a couple years older than me, 4 years older than me. And he, you know, I gotta get that in there. I'm sure he wouldn't appreciate it. But anyway, he had said to me, gee, I remember as a little kid, like it was a big deal. Like the whole town was decked out in flags and we were having fireworks every night. And I don't see that. Maybe it's because I live in the Northeast, right? Maybe that's more going on down south. But I'm disappointed in that. And I think that living in the Northeast, right? There's a sense of pessimism and hate for America right now, and shame that is so foreign to me, and I think dangerous to our culture and our country. And is it because we've allowed bad agents and bad actors to come in from all kinds of places and effectively hijack our country? Ask yourself that. And appreciate the fact that the DOJ got up there today and said they are determined. Todd Blanche says we're ending birth tourism. You're gonna have to take a pregnancy test before you come to the United States of America.
From a Department of Justice standpoint, it's obviously focusing our prosecutors and our law enforcement partners on birthing tourism, and it's a booming industry, and it will continue. It will continue given the Supreme Court's decision yesterday. There's other things that DHS can do and the federal government can do in the visa process and the application process to try to minimize or limit the opportunity of folks coming here to not to visit and not to do what they're saying they're doing on their tourist visa, but just to have a baby that can then be a U.S. citizen. So from our standpoint, it's focusing on what is a problem. So everybody should agree that it's a violation of our laws if your intent in coming here, if you're pregnant, is to have a child to become a United States citizen because of our now laws. And so what we have to do as the Department of Justice is make sure our agents, our HSI agents that we work with and the FBI are focused on stopping that. And that's what we're going to do.
Good. Okay. Good. It has to get done. We have to, 60 Minutes, back when 60 Minutes was actually a show that people watch. I mean, this was a lot of years ago. I remember they did a big expose on this, on women coming here from China, just so they could get the passport. I mean, why not? Free passport. You think I can go anywhere else in the world and pop out a kid and expect a passport for him? No. Okay. Like, no. And like the reality is we're a mature place, a mature economy now. And there may have been a point in time when that felt like it was relevant and important, especially following the Civil War. But those days are gone, okay? Those days are long gone. I think it'll come back. Don Bacca is saying in the chat that it's because it was only 5-4. Don't forget Amy Coney Barrett. Boy, she's really delivering, huh? I'm being facetious. He never liked her. In all seriousness, I remember as all this was going on, he liked Kavanaugh. I remember he had a chance. It was like between them. And he was like, at one point he was getting annoyed with people and he's like, forget it. I'm just going to go with the Catholic lady, right? Because he knew that she would overturn Roe v. Wade. She really has not, in my estimation, really delivered on being a traditional conservative. But, it'll come back. It will come back. I think it will. In the meantime, let's deal with the here and now. We're all realists. Okay. And in the spirit of reality, go get those attempts at baby anchors. End it. If you have to give everybody a pregnancy test before they come into the US of A, go for it. Hey, do you think the left will then suddenly be like recognizing of genders then? I wonder.
Okay, another good one from Trisha. I got 3 short ones. And then I'm going to try to keep track of the 4 Derek Jackson ones, finding them from TikTok. So let me know. I don't think we played them. This was out of West Virginia. Did anybody hear about this?
Looking at a massive warehouse fire that has erupted in Parkersburg, West Virginia. We have multiple units responding to this fire. and it is one they said that they had out as of yesterday, but as of this morning, it has spread. And we have officials back on the scene of this warehouse fire that's happening at People's Cartage Incorporated. This is on Camden Avenue. People are being told to shelter in place. Shelter in place extends from the area of Route 50 to Interstate 77 from Camden Avenue all the way down to 7th Street. They're saying this is very toxic air that's getting whipped about, and anyone downwind should be cautious. So if this is heading your way and you've got something sucking air into your home, you're going to want to make sure that it's being filtered to use caution. They're saying that this started on Saturday about 11 a.m. when cardboard boxes caught fire. They fought the fire. And even if you go over and ask some of the grok or this and that, they're saying that it was out. It was put out, but it's not out. It was stopped, and now they're back because it fired back up and it's now spread. It's affecting 3 different warehouses. So this is the problem when you don't have a fire all the way out and don't make sure of it, it can fire back up, and apparently this is causing massive issues. So it's spreading at this point.
Hey, West Virginia. Everybody okay in chat? Someone's calling me, Flying Eagle. The chickens.
Hey, it's a great day. Let's go do something fun. Or let's do nothing at all. That'll be fun too. You know, it really doesn't matter what you do as long as it's fun to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I may want to sleep in, but I don't sleep in because I'm a chicken and we like to get up and get to scratching and crowing. See what I'm saying? Like, I love that. That makes me feel good on the inside. Have a great day. Wake up.
Okay, one more short one.
Morning!
Money.
Good morning!
Oh, good morning.
Morning! Morning! Good morning! 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 Good morning! 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 Good morning! 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 Good.
All right. Okay, I'm gonna try to keep track of this Derek Johnson ones here.
Which still falls under a spiritual warfare, because there's a lot of bad people out there that's presenting themselves as sheep, and they're nothing but wolves in sheep's clothing. And I'm here to help you stay away from them. All right. That's why the first 2 years I was a little fireball. And I was a fireball because I know that I can take you and go, listen to me. Some of you didn't need that. Some of you are amazing patriots. A lot of you are amazing people and patriots. And you didn't need to be shook. All right. But some of you need shaking. Going, listen to me. Look at me. Focus on me. I'm not about myself. I'm about Donald John Trump. I didn't go around this country promoting myself the last 2 years like some people have. There's a group of people out there that's all about themselves. Now they're trying to jump back on ship. And what did Dan Scavino Jr. just say? If you jump ship with President Trump anytime between 2021 and now, we don't want you. All right, because you're in that group of people. Now, we're talking about the people who are blue checks and all this other, not you, the patriots. But I'm talking about for you to get a grip of this, that this is an operation. And we've had people the last 2 years saying, oh, Derek Johnson, that's a bunch of hogwash. This ain't no military operation. This is no military occupation. It most certainly is. and it's all in laws and orders. The most important warfare that and they're saying, rigged election. It's a rigged election. He rigged it. He rigged it. He rigged it. We want a recount. Stay in there, Kamala. Don't concede. We demand a recount. You've seen all that, all right? And you've also seen the higher echelon say, we're not going to certify the election. Bring it on, baby. That's what we want, ladies and gentlemen. That's what you should want. Whatever way they decide to do it, I'm not a part of the higher strategic operation. I just take what they put out and what they give. All right? I don't know their next step completely. I have good inclinations to know because I know the subject matters of what's hitting the news right now and what's on mainstream, which, once again, like the little good angel on my shoulder, there it is right there, the little good angel. All right. This right here is an operation. All right. And what they've put on the news is controlled by 47 United States Code Section 606, which is your Telecommunications Act of 1996. It's actually titled War Powers of the President. The president can control radio, TV, and internet broadcasts during a wartime situation. You have plenty of validity of that. All right. And I'm going to tie all that in really quick with just a few more things because I'm not staying on long tonight. It's Friday night. Everybody needs to go have a good Friday after this week. You need to go have fun. You need to put that grin on your face. Don't be too cocky. Just be confident, but also know that there's still an operation ongoing. The National Guard have been active all day still. They're out of their state jurisdictions. All right. The Gitmo planes back and forth. The Doomsday plane was up today. E6 Mercury was up today. A bunch of different activity. We're still in the occupation. We're still in the operation. All right. So when all those leftists are doing that, what's perfect about that, no matter how they decide to do this, is this reason right here. Let's just do a hypothetical. Because there's a few hypotheticals you could go with. I hate hypotheticals in any other situation, but because of what's on the news, they got Jack Smith all over the news, right? They got all of these different people you've seen threatening President Trump with lawsuits. Even though I know this is all strategically planned, for the ones that don't, this is all what's prevalent in the news right now, all right? Well, one of the articles said Jack Smith's preparing an exit strategy. Well, guess what's in Supreme Court dockets right now? There's a few cases of President Donald John Trump versus United States. It's on the Supreme Court dockets, meaning they're waiting to be heard. All right. Well, there's multiple Supreme Court dockets of President Trump filed and waiting to be, a bunch of them. I mean, there's one page, I don't know how many's on it. There's a lot of dockets up, and it's all brilliant. All right. So what we should want to happen is this. Because this is a humanitarian operation, not a partisan, not Republican, not Democrat. Jack Smith has a case that is against President Trump, all right? And it specifically says that President Trump violated the Constitution, that it was unconstitutional for him to challenge the 2020 election. I used to be able to do my eyebrows a lot faster than what I can do, but
okay.
That's what we want, baby. All these liberals right now, all over X and Twitter and all over Facebook, what are they doing? They're saying that President Trump rigged the election, and they're saying for Kamala, they think she's real. They're saying for Kamala to do what? To challenge the results. That makes them not only a hypocrite, also a double standard, but also, guess what, baby? No matter what happens, if they challenge the election, if they don't certify on the 6th, which means they'll kick it back to the state legislatures, then guess what can happen, baby? Guess what can happen, baby? Executive Order 13848 with the national mercy that President Trump put into place, signed into law, automatic law. Not only is it a law, but it also has a national emergency declared with it, September the 12th, 2018. Now, I know every one of you who've seen me over and 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 over again. Every single one of you who've seen me over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, guess one thing I talked about. Why would Joe Biden, if Joe Biden's real, why would Joe Biden continue an executive order 4 years in a row that's about election interference? Why would Joe Biden continue President Trump's executive order if President Trump got back in place for that bad boy to go to the Supreme Court? It will do what? It will damn all of them. For those of you who think they're real, it will not only damn one of them, it's going to damn the whole damn swamp. It's going to drain it. Because guess what else President Trump has a court case in with at the Supreme Court against Jack Smith? That Jack Smith was what? He was not sworn into the Senate. He is unconstitutional. He was not sworn in. He's a fraud, all right, which also does what? For those people out there that thinks Joe is real and Kamala's real and the Congress been real, guess what it also says in this court case? Congress is the only one who can create a federal office. So that will damn all of it. You see now why? You're supposed to be passionate and know it right here, baby, and know it right here, and know it right here. Because Executive Order 13848 with a national emergency made no freaking sense if Joe was real to continue that. Because you know what the word continue means in law, baby? It means enforcing it. Why would Joe Biden enforce the election interference executive order 4 years in a row? That bad boy is active all the way out to September 2025. And like I said, in a normal neutral seat, if I didn't know what I knew before November the 5th, it's all time stamped. I've said this over and over again. If I didn't know what I knew, why would Joe Biden and Kamala and Obama and all of them, you had all these patriots podcasters saying that Obama was pulling the strings behind the scenes. Why would they let President Trump have the opportunity to get back in the driver's seat? If this was all just a normal 4 years and I didn't know what I know, why would they allow him to get in the driver's seat to prosecute all their asses? Why? Why? Because all these liberals are calling President Trump, you Republicans, you conservatives, guess what y'all did? Y'all just elected a convicted felon. Remember that? Remember what I broke down? This is the best one that you could break down. All right. Here's the deal. Let's sit in a neutral seat. I found a new way to present this. All right. If you were sitting there and you're a liberal, and I said, okay, I got my little pad here and my little pen, and I'm going to give you an option, you libtard. All right. If I gave you an option, let's say I'm an attorney. I'm an attorney, and I know how to take down President Trump. All right. One, we could go with a civil trial about a hooker that we really can't prove anything on. We can just make the media say a bunch of stuff and, oh, he's this and he's that, and he's this, that. Or he has, or we can go with a federal offense, all right? And he has met 7 times with, 7 leaders 8 different times since April 2024 alone. All right. He also had all these rallies in 2021 and 2022 he wasn't supposed to have because there's no such thing as a midterm rally, which would be election interference. He would break his own law, basically. All right. And he had some phone calls with the president, right, who's in a war right now. All these liberals.
Yeah, I got 2 more clips, I believe. This one, I think, is 4 minutes.
to be neutral, meaning if you're on this side of the law and I'm on this side of the law, and you completely disagree with my opinion on something, that law is supposed to be that middle ground where you have to respect the law and I have to respect the law. And let's go see what the law says. All right, so you disagree with me? Okay, let's go see what the law says. Now, some laws are broader than others, and you can still walk away having a different opinion, but it's going to depend on who interprets that law.
Well,
all right?
The movie's not over
But if
yet.
you don't respect the law, period, and there's a lot of people out there that don't, a lot of these fascists, socialists, communists, and all the ones crying right now, they all look like hypocrites, which we're going to get to in a minute. But if they don't respect the law, or you don't, whoever it is, if you don't respect the law at all, then you're just grasping for straws. It's like what I call a Build-A-Bear society. It's a grab and go. They want to, oh, I want this, and oh, I like that, and oh, but it's for themselves. It's not for us as humanity. See, and we were never supposed to argue about stuff like this. Health and reproductive systems and all that stuff have no business in the federal government whatsoever. I personally don't believe it belongs in state government. I believe that every person do. Yeah, you got a choice, but it should be your choice between you and a doctor, or you and a primary care, you and whatever. That's fine. But it gets into what makes us argue about it is when it gets into a position to have to be interpreted. And I'm all right with someone believing completely different and doing whatever you want to do, because that's between you and God, or you and whatever you believe. But see, all these people, they're all about unity. They're all about love. They're all about saving America only when their party wins. It's only when they're in charge or their party wins that they believe that. And we've got to get away from that. And that's what this whole operation is about. And a lot of people are not seeing that still. For whatever reason, people are still hearing and not listening. This whole operation was not to be a Republican or conservative or make a whole new party and then be that party against everybody else. It's not that. We, in this operation, are about saying, hey, here's humanity, all right? Here's the United States federal government, what it should look like as a whole for all people. And then state governments, different states have different laws because of, once again, natural disasters. Not every state has a hurricane. Not every state has a tornado. Not every state has floods. Not every state has certain things. So state level, and then you have your local level governments. All right. And local can be the same way. Certain cities don't have certain things.
And one more after that.
So we got to get back to that. And a lot of these people are yelling and screaming, and they have no idea that this operation has flipped the narrative, and it's awesome. So how you empower yourself is reading what's been given and what's in place. All right. Because I'm the one that came up with the blueprint for it. Right. I call it the blueprint. Right, which is my book that's a #1 bestseller, right? It's a #1 bestseller for a reason on Amazon. It's also a #1 bestseller self-published.
Okay, we're going to do a couple more here. I think I saw Judge. I want to see something there. So this one is 7 minutes, you guys. Let me know about this one. Let me know.
Was given the key to the White House. Basketball, Putin gave the key to the White House. The ball is in your court. Castle Rock. The Knicks beat the Spurs, captured the Castle Rock. I pointed it out. We captured the flag. Gagey, Gigi, 77, Gianna Bryant. It's all about the kids. Portugal, capture the castle. Ronaldo has the key. So whoever beats them gets the key. Cinco de Mayo comes to mind, 55. Often mistaken for Mexican Independence Day, which is September 16th, which is my birthday, and was Taco Tuesday this last year. The date is involved in a major celebration of Mexican-American culture, but this is about...
Is that all right?
Vastly outnumbered and ill-equipped Mexican force led by General Ignacio Zaragoza successfully defended the town of Puebla against the French army. French represent Wimby, the Spurs, who got beat by the Knicks. So I could see Portugal meeting France. More likely, I'm still thinking it's going to be the Simpsons prediction, Mexico over Portugal. Because Mexico's main star, Raul Jimenez, JR, which I see everywhere, initials, right? He is, well, he wore the number 7, but he's the number 9. 79, 22nd prime. 22 is the master builder. Jesus was a carpenter. And Ronaldo wears 7, 79, 7, 9. Caitlin Clark wears the number 22, the master builder number. Her birthday is 122. Kobe, his highest scoring game, 81 points. 9 times 9, 81 on Caitlin Clark's birthday. Superwoman. This is biblical, hence Cristiano, Christian. And the Super Bowl winner, the quarterback's name was Darnold, and it had Donald in the name. And here we are with an R left over. Darnold. Here we are again with Ronaldo with an R left in the name, but you got Donald in there again. Portugal's going to win this game over Croatia. I know you don't get good odds, but if Croatia scores a goal, go bet Portugal. But I think it's going to be Mexico over Portugal. Mexico is going to capture the Castle Rock. And I believe this game, this next game against Croatia, I think it's today, 7-2, just like Ronaldo, number 7. He's got 2 goals. I think number 7 is going to get 2 goals today, and that's going to end up being 4. So maybe Portugal beats France to help Mexico capture the Castle Rock. The ball is the rock. The ball is the rock. Pass me the rock, dog. Just like we got Iraq. Eagles and Seahawks are the last 2 teams to win the Super Bowl, both birds. And here's next is Mexico. Mexico, main colors, green and red, like Christmas.
Sounded
in July.
okay.
July. It's also about the number 23 being the 9th prime, and Raul Jimenez with Mexico wears the number 9. So it's a hidden 33. 2-3 is also 2 3s in numerology, which would be 33, which represents Jesus Christ. And his name is Jim Carrey, JC, Jesus Christ.
See this one?
The Empire is striking back with love, just like Star Wars. Love conquers all, as they propose to each other here, as you can see. And this is like Batman and Catwoman, all right? Angels of the night, which are the brights. You have to be the brightest if you're going to light up the night, which gremlins are bright lights. So you have the brights.
Okay,
they have focus about,
we'll see
and then you have
tomorrow.
lights. I believe the brights might have red somewhere in their beard, or they may be black, okay? But somehow they call redheaded people redheaded stepchildren. I believe that the redheads may be the spirit of Elijah, which was Elias, which was in John the Baptist that baptized Jesus. That was spoke about in the book of Obadiah, which was an ambassador sent amongst the heathen to be basically a light in a world of darkness. That yin versus the yang, feminine versus masculine. There is no good or bad. It's just 50 shades of gray. Even in news, breaking, I don't care what they said. I see Mexico here. Even though they're showing America, I see Mexico. The colors, Christmas. Follow the yellow brick road. It goes all the way up from North Carolina, which was the GOAT, Michael Jordan's land, all the way up to Washington. Play of words. In the end times, the wolf shall lay with the lamb. The lamb. So they always say a wolf in sheep's clothing. I think those people might actually be. So this is a dog, which we represented as God. We say doggone it, God, dog, like a dragon. Okay, dragon makes me think of the serpent. Okay, and then I also think of the eye of the tiger. The eye of the tiger, I think, is the serpent, the dragon's eye. Okay, because you've got the eye of the tiger. Tiger is Tigris, like a Tigris river. It's all about water. What is the shape of a river? It's like a snake. So the eye of the tiger, the true king of the forest, is a tiger, not a lion. Lions hang out in the desert. So it'd be a tiger, right? King of the forest. But what is the eye? The eye of Horus, Ra. That would be a dragon. God, dog, wolf in sheep's clothing in the end times. And it used to be in the end times, the lion shall lay with the lamb. Mandela effect. In this reality, it is the wolf shall lay with the lamb. And I grew up in a Baptist orphanage. I got a photographic memory, right? So this is real stuff, all right? There's different timelines playing out. This is a supernatural world. Miracles are happening right in front of your eyes. You just have to pay attention. But I think in the end, the serpent, the dragon, is the true king of the jungle. And it may be represented by the wolf, which the Michigan Wolverines won the college basketball. We had the Indiana football team, which is the Hoosiers, which is the owl, who, right? And then you also have the Indiana was the RV capital of the world, which deals with the Iraq Dinar, which deals with the RV. Then you had the Knicks win, which we talk about the Phoenix rising from the ashes. Everybody on the world stage is a shapeshifter or wearing some sort of something. They're the same. They're different people, and they play thousands of people in our reality, maybe even in your real life. And going back to the redheaded stepchild, Trump, I've shown you all my videos coming down these steps. That's when I overlay The Economist 2026 with the Iraq Dinar, the $25,000 note, and we just had our 250th UFC fights on Trump's birthday, and this is going to be the 250th anniversary on 4th of July. But as you can see, Trump coming down the steps, red-headed stepchildren. Who fights? Conor McGregor. He was an Irishman. I think Ireland was a tribe of the Levites, Levi, which is LV, which is Elvis, which went to Las Vegas, which initials are LV. And we just had the Super Bowl in Levi Stadium in the 49ers. And this may be representing Babylon, the walls of Jericho coming down at the FIFA World Cup on 7/19. But I think there's something to do with 7/9, 22nd prime, all lining up. 26 equals God. 2 6s is 66, and that's 33 plus 33, which is I and my Father are one. That's the Holy Trinity times 2. That's like your soulmate, your twin flame coming together as one, making 66. Christmas in July. And you see Ronaldo here in June with the World Cup. And we got our money here in July. Somebody else put this together. Trump coming down the steps, and we got paid. Trump coming down the steps, we're getting paid. Hey, people,
I don't
we're
know
merely
how
watching a
old
show,
this is,
but we are going to capture the rock.
I think
Iraq.
it's the Bill one, isn't
We
it?
invaded
Probably
Iraq
Neil?
on the 79th day of the year. Ronaldo wears 7. Jimenez wears number 9, but he also wore the number 7. 79, 22nd prime, the master builder number. And Elvis was a werewolf, a dog, a god. Elias, Elijah, the spirit of Elijah, a light in the world of darkness. And he always claimed Jesus Christ as the true king. G is us. That's a spirit within, the breath of life. Word.
So that was interesting. I got the last one is 3 minutes, you guys. 3 minutes will be it here. I don't remember playing this one.
The Lord shall descend with a shout, and the dead in Christ rise out. The trumpet shall sound clear and bright, mortality swallowed in life and light. Boarding time, hear heaven call. Jesus is Lord over all. In a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, we are changed and lifted high. Death is swallowed up in victory. The grave releases all its hold on me. Clothed in glory, made anew. Every promise proven true. The marriage of the Lamb has come. The wedding feast, the kingdom done. Come, Lord Jesus, the Spirit cries, and every tear drops from our eyes. Boarding time, no more night. We step into eternal light, raised in joy, forever free, with the Lord for eternity.
And that's going to wrap the show up. Okay, everybody. Well, we had to do 2 shows. We got to restream. So, well, we just got to stay together like what we've been saying every day since day one. Something's got to give. Something's got to give. And let's play it day by day. The 3 o'clock starting new time. And if anything breaks, I'll come on. Hope everyone had a safe holiday weekend and going back to work tomorrow and have a good work week. We'll just see how things go. Thanks, Mods. Okay, finally go, Carol, Lucy, Jim. And God bless everybody. Love all. Remember, please like, stay safe, stay strong, keep the faith. Good luck. And signing off with the July 5th, Sunday evening. Chico dude, and we'll see you all tomorrow.